you kind of alluded to like the fact that like kids and selling things in business, but like, and you guys both have kids, I don't, but like it'll be interesting to hear, like, I didn't grow up thinking about being in business. I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing. I don't think that's something that like my parents were trying to instill in me and be like, hey, like start your own business. But like now it is. I think because of things like Shark Tank in 2010, the growth of entrepreneurship, probably Zuckerberg and Facebook being so big. Like, is that something now that you guys see your kids being taught in school? Like, hey, build your thing and make a dominant business out of it? Like, is that something that's being taught now?
Tim, are you seeing that?
Yeah, I mean, so my daughter recently was in a competition for DECA, which is a marketing competition, if you will. And one of the subsegments of DECA was entrepreneurship. So, and I was really impressed. Just the amount of detail and the knowledge that they're learning at such a young age it's way beyond what we didn't even have anything. So it was much more than I expected. And I think the barrier to entry is so much lower now than it was back when we were younger as well.
Yeah, my kids are a little bit younger, so I'm not seeing the exact curriculum, although my oldest, Jackson, is definitely going to be a businessman. He was watching, this was 2 or 3 years ago, he was probably 7 or 8 years old at the time, and we were at a beach house property, not here in another state, but they struggle with parking down there. And so you'll find these lots pop up. And there were 2 kids who lived next door who had started a lemonade stand. And they'd been selling lemonade for 2 days. And he went down and talked to them. And, they kind of puffed up about how they'd made, $15 or $20, sitting there for 2 days. And they were excited about that. And they were about his age. And so he comes up to me and says, "Dad, can we sell parking?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, we've got space. Can I sell? People need parking spots." So he goes out, and I kid you not, in 20 minutes time, he'd sold 8 spaces where we could fit cars in at $20 a piece. And so he comes, he comes up and he's got $160 he made in less than a half an hour. And of course he wanted to go rub it in those kids' face. I said, "No, you're not going to go rub it in their faces that they've been sitting there for 2 days." But that was sort of, I'm seeing that in him. He certainly appreciates that. And one of the things I'm noticing is colleges now are finally coming around to this idea that we actually need to teach people how to sell. I've done some work with ODU locally. I know Zack, I know you've done several things with them, and this idea of entrepreneurship and sales is really starting to impact. In fact, Sandler, the company that I own a franchise with, actually has a curriculum now in the Harvard Business School, where they're utilizing some of what we teach for their MBA programs. And so that was unheard of, even 10, 15 years ago. There was hardly any of that. It was marketing, it was accounting. So I am seeing a definite shift where entrepreneurship and this whole idea of pitching your ideas is really catching on in formal education.